I stopped tolerating things when I got angry, when I got pissed, when I realized I was living at a much lower level than what God had designed for me to live. You know, you will always tolerate what you don't hate. So you have to get to a point of like utter disgust of the results that you're getting, what you're producing, because 90% of the time, you're the one creating the results you're getting. It's not some outside source. It's not some outside person. It's not something that happened to you years ago that somebody did. Those could all be things that influence your decisions, but ultimately you're the one in control and you're the one producing the results. So when are you going to stop tolerating things? The things that maybe used to work in the past or that no longer work, the things that you know are bad habits, you know they're destructive cycles, you know they're toxic relationships, you know that it is pulling you farther away from who you really want to be inside, who you know God created you to be. Those little decisions, those little habits, those little details, they build up, they add up, and they will ultimately produce the results that you're getting. So there's no excuse. When it comes down to it, you're the one who has to take a really good look in the mirror. You're the one who has to get honest with yourself, and you're the one who has to be willing to change. Spending your life trying to get other people to change around you to make you feel like you're right or you're in control. I did that for many, many years. I was involved in family drama, family issues, everybody's business. I thought they should listen to me. They should do exactly what I'm telling them to do. Meanwhile, my life was in shambles and I wasn't even being remotely honest with myself. So what good was that? It got, I had to back up. I had to look at myself, look at my habits. What could I control? What could I change? And who was I to tell them if my life was a big old friggin' mess and, I didn't have anything in order, at that time. So take an honest look at yourself, be willing to step up, be willing to level up. Let this be the year of change, that you come up higher. And the people that don't want to, just let them be. Just leave them. You don't have to take everybody with you. Some people from your past are not going into your future, and that's fine. It doesn't, putting up boundaries or saying no, hey, we were friends in the past, we're not friends anymore, or you were there for a season, or we sharpened each other and that we're not really doing anything for each other anymore. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to live with guilt or carry on that guilt or resentment, or even let the other person make you feel guilty because you said no to them. It's your life. It's your race to run. And you got to start taking things serious and get out of this nonsense. The nonsense of what everybody else is doing, the nonsense of being, gossiping about their life, the nonsense about being involved in other people's drama. Nonsense. Get serious and get your own home in order. Now's the time to get your home in order, your house in order. That's your physical house, but also your spiritual house, your body as a house, your family unit. Get these things in order and be willing to say no to the people and the things that are causing chaos and that are bringing disorder. Anytime that there's chaos, there's going to be lies. When there's peace, there's truth. So you need to be the one to discern the difference and know if this person who keeps coming into my life is bringing all kinds of chaos and all kinds of drama, the chances are, they're living a lie. They're either defending a lie, they're living a lie. You need to be around people that bring peace and bring truth. This will help ground you. This will help bring things into focus. This will help really simplify and remove all of that chaos and fuzziness in your life on what do I do? Where do I go? Who's my friend? When we simplify our life and when we gain control of our thoughts and when we gain control of our surroundings and our habits and really take a close look at what do you do in a day? How many hours do you spend chasing sales? How many hours are you thrifting for things you don't need? It's not a good deal if you have no use for it or if it's just junk. It's not a good deal. When we realize, wow, I used to spend hours thinking I got a great deal on all this stuff that I didn't even need, I would end up donating it because I didn't need it. When we really slow down and we live intentional, you'll realize you waste a lot of time on frivolous things. And this is really a time where God, he's speaking to me really loud about this. And I heard him say, remove yourself from nonsense. Don't be engaged in the nonsense. And I'm like, man, there's so many things that are just waste of time, nonsense. And I'm not saying you can't enjoy a good movie that's funny. You know, you have to make room for fun things in life and enjoyable activities. It's not, strict all the time. You got to eat strict. I'm going to eat cake. I'm going to have some fun. It's not about that, but it's really about getting your house in order and tightening things up and buttoning things up and really getting your body in order. If you don't take care of your health, you will be a liability on your family at some point. And if that day comes where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, man, what have I become? My body is overweight, which puts pressure on your joints. You have inflammation. Your hormones could be all out of whack. Your cholesterol could be high. You have no idea what's happening on the inside because you're too busy taking care of other people or your house, or you're too busy doing things that really don't matter, that you've neglected to take care of yourself. This is very important. And for women, we handle a lot. We carry a lot on our shoulders. We need to step back and take care of ourselves without feeling guilty too. Don't feel guilty because you need a little self-care. When I started taking care of myself, my family was like, where's mom? What's she doing? I'd be at the gym. They weren't used to that. They were used to me catering all the time, being there all the time, cleaning all the time, And finally, I just thought, you're on your own. I'm going to teach you kids how to cook. You're going to cook your own meals. And that's what I did. I left them to figure it out on their own. Obviously, I waited until they were a certain age. You're not going to do that if they're toddlers or you're little. But, I got to the point where I knew I had to start taking care of myself. I did not like how I felt. I did not like how I looked. I didn't sleep well. I knew something was off, and I was in denial about it for a really long time. And then I masked it in shopping and in, taking care of the home because I felt like I could control that. I could at least make the home look pretty, and I kept myself busy doing that. And it was such a waste of time. The amount of time that I wasted organizing and shifting things around, thinking that I'm winning in life. Oh, I was so productive today because I moved stuff from one place to the other. And then I spent all this money on containers to store the stuff that I don't need. Meanwhile, I didn't work out, or wasn't conscious about how many calories I was eating. I had no idea what was going on in here because I was too busy stacking bins and organizing stuff and shopping and returning and changing things around and putting just doing all of that. And there's nothing wrong with rearranging and changing things around, but I do that. But I make sure, hey, I'm going to stop and I'm getting my butt to the gym. I'm going out for a walk. I don't care if it's a 10-minute walk. Get movement. I don't care if you walk up and down your stairs or you walk around your house because it's too cold outside. Some type of movement to get up and move your body. It's really not about quick fixes. It's not about what injection you can take or what supplement you can take. You can add in supplements and things once you build basic habits. It's really the basic habits: movement, healthy food, clean food, avoiding processed. And I used to be so overwhelmed, like, oh, it's so complicated to change our diet. And it took a little while because I had to switch things one at a time. I downloaded an app and I started looking at ingredients, and it didn't happen overnight. It took a little bit of time, but little by little, even my kids were like, oh, they feel better. My daughter's stomach would bloat up. She would get stomach aches all the time and have major issues in her stomach, in her gut, as did I. I was bloated all the time, and my stomach hurt a lot for days. And when I started cleaning up my diet and inflammation went down, I started knowing what supplements to take. But it was the daily habits, the walking, the movement, in the gym. That's a time where you're pushing yourself. Invest in a trainer. If you're going to invest in Netflix, you can invest in a trainer, even an online trainer or something. It's all about the priorities and about getting things in the right order and not having things so out of order that your life is not producing. You're not living at your fullest. You want to live as your highest self or your lowest self? it starts with you. It starts with what you do, what you say no to, and what you make time for. So I urge you to get serious about it. I urge you to start getting things in order. Get out of destructive patterns and destructive cycles and put yourself around people who are going to push you forward, lift you up, and sharpen you.